So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mezco Toyz PX exclusive 112 collective Black Suit Spider-Man. So let's get into it right away and start off with this ginormous tin box. So we do get the basic tin style box when it comes to Mezco's PX exclusives, and these are the style boxes I dislike the most. So on the front of the box here on the top we do get the PX Previews exclusive sticker, then it does say MezcoToyz.com, then we do get the very cool Black Suit Spider-Man logo there, then on the bottom says 112 Collective and Marvel. And then the bottom of the box here just says Spider-Man, same thing on the tippy top here. And then the one side of it says 112 Collective, and then the other side says MezcoToyz.com. Then the back of it does show the promo images with all the accessories included with the figure. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure open to take a closer look at Spider-Man's coolest suit that he's ever worn. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and Mezco really did an awesome job with this Black Suit Spider-Man here. I do like the material that they chose for his suit, which we'll get into that in a second. I do have an issue with it, which I'll go over shortly, but the head sculpt I think turned out dope. Some people might think it looks too big. I think it looks fine. Sculpt of it looks great, nice clean paint for the huge white eyes, and I always like the Spider-Man costumes where the eyes are nice and wide. It just gives it a really cool look for his mask, and just nice sculpt all throughout the head and the neck right there, so definitely big plus on the head sculpt. Now for the suit here, it's like it's made of, I don't know what kind of material. I want to say like a rubbery type material. Then it looks like it has a thin layer of cloth under it. But here's my one issue with it. It rips and tears very, very easily. Right when I opened the box, I noticed this tear in the left forearm area. That was fresh out of the box, so right there, that was a bit disappointing. Then I did a little hardcore articulation. And with the legs, do not, when you kick them all the way up or out to the sides or whatever, do not let the suit rub up against itself, because it's going to cause little tears or rips in it. As you can see, I did damage mine a bit from hardcore Spider-Man articulation. But the suit itself looks so awesome, and the spider symbol, definitely one of my favorite parts about the figure. It just looks really clean. Really nice job with it. Some people aren't a fan of the stitching either. As you can see, it goes all the way down or up his arm, then down the side of his body, then through his back, and then right through his butt crack there, and then it does continue down the legs. The stitching doesn't really bother me at all, but I've been hearing that it is bothering some people, and you can like twist the cloth around by the arms and even at the legs as well. So when you articulate the arm, you could twist the cloth to whichever way you're positioning the arm, so that is definitely a plus right there. And the back of the spider symbol looks dope also. I mean, it's a very plain looking figure, because you know Spider-Man, his suit is pretty much all black with a little bit of white here and there. And then even the size of the figure I think turned out pretty good too, because Peter Parker is not a huge dude. And then the legs here look pretty good, and then the feet all connected. It's like he's wearing a onesie, and it's pretty cool, because that pretty much is how Spider-Man's suit is, but that is also how the symbiote is as well. Then you do see the soles right there on the bottom of his feet, and then some peg holes on the bottom. So overall, I think Mezco really killed it with this Black Suit Spider-Man. Like I said, the material they chose is very, very delicate, so be extremely careful when articulating this figure, because it is a lot of fun to pose around. So just be careful when you articulate it. Don't let the cloth goods rub up on itself, because you will cause some damage to it. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we get a decent amount of stuff included with this Black Suit Spidey. So we do get a Mezco bag, of course, which we get with every figure in case you want to store your accessories in here. So we do get that. Then we do get the Mezco awesome stand, and they do make the best stands. So we do have the base here with the awesome Black Suit Spidey logo right there, which looks sick. Then we do have a peg on it in case you would like to peg your figure onto the stand. But if you would like to create the stand, you take the arm or leg here, take the bottom, pop it right through there to pop the peg out, then you pop this piece right on there, and then there you go. That's how you make the stand, and it does have the basic stand type of articulation. Then we do get this little extra clamp right here with a very strong magnet right there. So if you want to clamp your Spidey, maybe like hanging off the fridge or something like that, you could definitely do it with this piece, similar to what Revel Tech did with their Spider-Man. And it's always cool that figure companies do add this little extra accessory with Spider-Man figures. So we do get that stuff. And then we also get 5 different types of webbing, and that is always a huge plus when it comes to a Spider-Man figure. So we do have my favorites, which are the basic whipping webs. We have a longer one and a shorter one. As you can see, the shorter's on the top, the longer's on the bottom. The length of them's not that much of a difference, but man, these are the best types of webs I've ever seen with any Spider-Man figure that I have owned. Mezco just did a superb job with the sculpt on them. And I love the like pearl white paint that they used as well. They just did a beautiful job with these webs, and all of them have these little hoops or loops on the end, and it's similar to other Spider-Man figures how you get these to work. And this black suit Spidey shoots his web out the top of his hand, so what you would do is unpeg the hand, put the loop right through the wrist peg, and then you pop the fist right on the hand. Simple as that. So we do get the 2 basic whipping type webs. Then we do get a Grabby McGrabster type web, and I like the way that looks on the end right there, like he's going to grab somebody's head and rip it right off. But once again, beautiful sculpt and paintwork all throughout this, man. They just did a really good job on all the webs. And then the other one we get is a type of webbing where it's kind of like spreading out. And once again, beautiful detail all throughout this, man. They just killed it with these webs. It's such simple accessories, but great detail like that does go a long way when it comes to figures and accessories. And then finally, we get this extra long web that is actually bendy wire, and that is definitely a huge plus right there, and a very smart idea, kind of like what they did with Daredevil's Billy Clubs, giving us the bendy wire in between them. And I like the way the sculpt looks on the ends right there. Kind of looks like the regular whipping webs, and the rest of it looks dope as well. So we do get those 5 awesome webs, and then we finally get 6 alternate hands. And I just wanted to mention one thing before we go over those. It is a bit disappointing that we didn't get a unmasked Peter Parker head. I mean, we don't get a ton of accessories, and usually Mezco does hook it up with accessories, so I am a bit shocked that we don't have any alternate heads with this Spider-Man. We just get the one masked head here, which this is how I was going to have him posed anyway, but it's always good to give you that option. When you have 2 alternate heads, you do have more display options and posing options, so it is a bit disappointing because I know a lot of people wanted that even to use with their classic suit Spider-Man figure as well. So like I said, we do get the 6 alternate hands, so we do get a pair of fists, of course, which come on the figure out of the packaging, and beautiful detail all throughout these men. Very clean paint on the top of the hand as well. As you can see, the little slot right there, that is where the webbing would go when you put the webs in between the hand and the wrist peg there. But beautiful sculpt work on this, man. The wrinkles all throughout the symbiote suit just look dope, and the hands are pretty simple to swap out. It's just some of them don't stay on that well, kind of like the Tiger Stripe Wolverine. They do tend to pop off a bit easily, and it gets a bit frustrating when you're trying to pose around your figure and put them in a certain pose. So we do get a pair of fists. Also wanted to mention, when you swap out the hands, it might be a bit difficult trying to get them on. I say the best way is to hold the figure by the elbow and then peg the hand on, or you could roll up the sleeve a little bit and grab onto the plastic to pop the hand on, because sometimes when you just grab around the forearm, it's a bit difficult getting the hand on because the sleeve moves around on you. So just wanted to mention that quickly. Then we do get a pair of web gripping hands here. Once again, beautiful detail all throughout this. Nice clean paint on the top of the hand as well. So very good job on the web gripping hands. And then finally, we get a left web crawling hand and then a right open hand. I mean, why couldn't we just get a pair of each? You know what I mean? Why'd they just give us one of each? That is pretty disappointing, actually. Like, come on, man. You couldn't have just given us 8 pairs of interchangeable hands instead of just 6 and giving us one of each of the web crawling and the open hands. You know, that is a little disappointing, but beautiful detail work all throughout these, man. Just look at the sculpted wrinkles on the damn fingers. That looks incredible. Beautiful paint and sculpt on these, man. So those are all the awesome accessories included with this Spider-Man. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the reviews, shall we? We shall. Now for the height of Symbiote Spidey to the very top of his head. It looks like he's around 6.5 inches tall. And then here he is compared to the SH Figure Arts Infinity War Captain America, the Homecoming Spider-Man, and the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Venom and Carnage. And then here he is compared to the Mezco 112 Deluxe Edition Joker, Deathstroke, Old Man Logan, and Tiger Stripe Wolverine. And I feel like he might be a tad bit too tall. And then here he is compared to the Mafex Justice League Superman, the NECA Scar Predator, the SH Figure Arts Thor Ragnarok Thor, and Gladiator Hulk. And then here he is compared to the Storm Collectible Sub-Zero, the SH Figure Arts Sage Mode Naruto, the Figma Deadpool, and the Marvel Legends Cable. And then here he is compared to the SH Figure Arts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku and the Mezco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, and this Black Suit Spider-Man has the best Mezco 112 articulation I've seen on any of their figures so far. So we do have two joints at the neck here, the upper neck joint. You could get Mr. Parker to look up a really good amount, so that is definitely a plus there. Then he does look down a tiny bit with the upper neck. Then you do get some very nice pivot there, as you can see. Really good pivot, actually, and then it does swivel. The lower neck joint does go forward and back a really good amount, actually, so you can almost get him to look all the way down, and you can pretty much get him to look all the way up, so that is definitely good. It does pivot very well at the lower neck, and then it also swivels, so really nice neck movement with this Spider-Man here. So then we do get a point of articulation at the torso right under the chest, and it's on, I think, a barbell type joint, because you can shift it back and forth and side to side, actually, so I do like that they added that there. But he does crunch forward a really good amount with that joint, same with going back, and the material of the cloth they use is very stretchy, so it does articulate very well with the figure. And then the pivot, very nice pivot there, and then of course it does swivel. The cloth will hinder some of the swivel though, obviously. And then the waist here, pretty good forward and back movements with both joints. He crunches forward pretty damn good, and then goes back really well also, and then it does pivot at the waist, so with both joints you do get some really nice pivot out of it, and then of course it does swivel, so really nice torso and waist movement for this Black Suit Spidey. Now for the arms here, do we have a butterfly joint there? I don't know, it's just like with the Joker figure that I just reviewed, the deluxe edition. It's very minimal forward and back movement there at the shoulder, so I'm not sure if there's a butterfly joint there or not, but the arms do pretty much go all the way, almost go all the way up, so that's definitely good. They do go up and down. Be careful when you move it up and down, because the cloth does bunch up with it. Then we do have the bicep swivel up there. We do have double jointed elbows that bend in all the way, so that is definitely good. Then we do have a ball hinge on the wrist, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. Now for the legs here, like I said, be careful when you articulate it. You don't want the cloth rubbing up on itself, because it will cause damage. So Spider-Man, he can kick forward a little more than 90 degrees. It can go up a little bit further, but I don't want to damage mine any more than I have already. So nice forward movement. Doesn't really go back that much. And let's see if he can Jean-Claude Van Damme it. And I'm pretty sure he can, but the cloth kind of hinders it from pushing both legs out. So just using one leg, he can pretty much go all the way 90 degrees. So Spider-Man can definitely Jean-Claude Van Damme it, which is a huge plus. Then we do get the upper thigh swivel. We do have the double jointed knees that bend back all the way, so that's definitely good. Then for the ankles, this is where the articulation gets a little funky here. We do have the swivel. Really does not hinge up at all, so that's pretty disappointing, but it hinges down almost all the way. That is definitely a big plus. Then the pivot, I don't know if it's just with my figure, but it really has bad pivot. Or when I try to pivot it more, it kind of just goes back into place, so it's like there's non-existent pivot really on this figure, and that's just really disappointing. I mean, other people are showing it on their reviews saying they have pivot, but mine just goes right back. It doesn't really pivot anymore, and that really does suck. But overall, out of all the Mezco figures that I've gotten and own, this one by far has the best articulation, and you're going to be able to get him into almost any type of Black Suit Spidey-like poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Black Suit Spider-Man. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure between a 1 through 10, I'd have to give it an even 8. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I did get mine from Agelessgeeks, so you can head over to their website at agelessgeeks.com, or I would recommend going through their Instagram or their Facebook group. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs up anyway, because action figures are awesome. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. The best type of 112 articulation you can ever expect on one of their figures, unless they the Mafex Justice League Superman, the NECA Scar Predatorial, the SH Figure Arts Thor Ragnarok Thor, and Gladiator Hulk. And I just wanted to mention one more thing. It is a bit disappointing that we didn't 6 alternate head. Damn it. So we only get the one head here, the masked one that does, it's gonna say that does come on the figure out of the packaging, like we get alternate heads. Damn it. Damn ye, Daredevil 19.